what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing part one of what is going to be, unfortunately, because of extenuating circumstances, a two-part review on Fenty Beauty. So last week when Fenty launched on Sephora.com, it launched at midnight Pacific Standard Time, which for me was actually 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I made an order, and I paid for one-day shipping, which understandably was not actually going to be at my house until Monday because they don't deliver on the weekends, whatever, but that was fine. I was just gonna do the review on Monday. So all day yesterday, I waited for my package. It said it was out for delivery, and then around like 5 or 6 o'clock, it said that there was an exception and that it wasn't going to be delivered. In the meantime, I had gone back on the website the day after and ordered more items in a separate order without paying for one-day shipping because I was just like, oh, I kind of wanted to try like a different highlighter or whatever, and I happened to put a sample package in my cart with like a blister pack of like several of the foundation shades in there because I figured if it was like the wrong foundation shade, at least I could try a couple that way when everything finally got here. Fast forward to today, when the items that were supposed to be delivered yesterday were supposed to be delivered again, and the second order showed up on my doorstep, and the first order said it was delivered and still wasn't here. So I called customer service. They seem to think that it might still be delivered today by the end of the day, that like sometimes the drivers mark down that it was already delivered when it was still in the truck. I don't know why on earth they would do that and confuse the shit out of people, but it seems to be a thing that they do. So hopefully the customer service representative was correct on that. If not, and the order was lost, I'm just gonna wait for a refund and then go to the store and just purchase in person the things that I had ordered online because I realize now that they're still in stock, so it's not like a big deal. I just don't want to pay for it twice. So today I am going to use the sample pack of the foundations that I accidentally got, I guess, thank goodness at this point. Luckily, the foundation shade that I ordered is in that pack, and there is also a sample of the primer in that pack, so I'm going to use those together. And then what I will do when I finally get my hands on the full-size one is I will try the foundation for like several days and then see how it wears, and then I'll do an update video with like a full review on the foundation and hopefully a first impression on the other items that I finally got my hands on, which were the highlight stick in the confetti color and a lighter shade of the powder highlighter. So hopefully within the next few days, I will have an update on that for you guys, which when it comes out, I will link it below in this video as well. But for now, at least we can do a first impression on the foundation and the powder Killawatt highlighter in the color Trophy Wife. So after that long, boring ass story of why I don't have what I ordered still, at least we have what we have. Let's jump in and do a first impression. So in the order that I'm still waiting for, I feel like that story was so confusing and I hope you guys follow along with how that went. But I actually didn't order the primer, so I'm glad that I did get this little sample pack with the primer in it because now I can try it with the primer and then I can try it with my own primer and then compare for you guys how it works with each one. So to start, I'm just going to grab that little sample pack of primer and I'm going to apply that to my whole face. I'm going to use my fingers to do that because that's how I usually apply all of my primers. And it feels very much like a lotion, but with a little bit more stickiness than your average lotion. So kind of like, almost like a priming moisturizer, which I like. So that could be a good thing for sure. Next, to my entire face, I am going to apply the FREESTYLE foundation in the color 150. I actually got really lucky that one of the colors that they sent in this little sample pack is the same one that I actually ordered, and I think it's the one that matches me, because otherwise we'd really have no review to do today and I would be sitting here with my thumb in my ass. So I'm just going to take that pack, I'm going to grab my beauty sponge. This is the Real Technique sponge, and I'm just going to apply that to my entire face, as one does. I'm going to try applying it directly from the sponge and see how that goes. Right off the bat, this seems like it might be a little bit light for my skin tone at the moment, but I did hear that these oxidize a bit, so I'd rather it be a little bit light for me than a little bit dark for me. I can always bronze up a foundation that's too light, but once your foundation is too dark, you just look like an Oompa Loompa, and there ain't really shit you can do about it. Okay, so first impression, this does not seem to be incredibly easy to blend. Like, you really have to kind of like jump in there and blend it out quickly before it sets. Otherwise, it kind of leaves like a little bit of a mark where you put the sponge down. And I can't talk because I'm hitting my Adam's apple. Yeah, it leaves a little bit of a mark where you put the sponge down. If you don't blend it very quickly, I would imagine it's probably the same thing with the brush. Actually, let's try applying it with a brush to my forehead to see what we think of that. And to do that, I'm going to use this Shuamura foundation brush. This is one of my favorite little kabuki foundation brushes of all time. I definitely like the way it applies better with the sponge than this brush. And weirdly enough, I feel like I got more coverage with the sponge, where usually with a foundation, I always wind up getting more coverage with a brush than I do with the sponge, but that does not seem to be the case today at all. I'm gonna go back in with the sponge a little bit because I really feel like I didn't get enough coverage at all. To be honest, I don't really need a lot of coverage on my forehead, but now it doesn't match the rest of my head, so I gotta. If I could go back in time, I might choose a darker shade, but I guess we'll see after a couple of hours whether this oxidizes or not, because I did hear a lot of people saying that it oxidized quite a bit, in which case this will probably be a perfect match. The undertone is perfect for me though. So if you have a true neutral undertone, which I do, you will really like the neutral shades because this is neutral as fuck. Like, it is definitely not pink, it's definitely not yellow, it's perfectly in the middle, which is really hard to find sometimes. So if you do find that you always pull pink or always pull yellow, I think that these shades might be really great for you. It also feels very, very light on my skin and it looks really natural. So I wouldn't say that this is full coverage. I would say that this is medium coverage because I do have a pimple over here, which normally I'd be real mad about because I don't get pimples a lot, but it actually serves as well when we're reviewing a foundation because I can still see the redness of this pimple through the foundation. Normally, if I was using a foundation that I would consider full coverage, I wouldn't be able to see that anymore if I had put foundation over it. So I would say this is probably medium coverage. It does look like pretty flawless everywhere else, but if you're looking for it to cover like actual blemishes like acne and stuff, maybe not. You're gonna still need concealer. So my initial thought is that the finish of this is gorgeous. It's sitting beautifully on my skin. It's kind of like, I know it says that it's matte, but it kind of looks more like a satin natural finish to me. So I'm going to jump off camera, I'm going to do my eye makeup, I am going to fix up my brows, I'm going to bronze my face a little bit because it needs it right now, I look a little bit ghastly, and then we will try the highlight that I have, which is the color Trophy Wife. Okay, for the rest of my face, I just threw on a very, very basic warm smoky eye with a Naked Heat palette. I used the Kim Tai Cake Face Beauty lashes, the Lionhearted ones, and I threw on Kat Von D Project Chimps. The foundation so far is sitting beautifully. It seems very, very smooth. It feels very light. I don't feel like anything's heavy or cakey. I do feel like the shades run a little bit lighter than I thought because this is still a little bit light for me right now, even though I did bronze it up quite a bit, but I'd rather it be light, like I said, than dark, so that's okay. I definitely think it's closer to the medium side than the full coverage side. It does say medium to full coverage, to be fair, but everybody was just saying how full coverage it was, so I assumed that it was closer to full, but it's not. It's definitely closer to medium, but I'm okay with that. I like that. And now to try the one full-size item that has actually been delivered to me, which is the KILLAWATT highlighter in the color Trophy Wife. I also bought one of the split pan ones, but this is the one we're trying today because this is the one we got. Originally, I was not even going to buy this one because it looks so gold that I didn't think that it was going to work for my skin tone, but I saw Ashley from @Lee with a million E's on YouTube and Instagram. She got this color and she's even more fair than I am and it looked great on her, so I have high hopes that this is going to look great on me, but we're going to find out. I'm just going to use the same Tarte brush that I always use to highlight and pop that on all the high points of my face, and I'm also going to use that on my inner corners. Okay, first, whoa, that is extremely gold, like gold eyeshadow. We're going to blend that shit in. What? I feel like Jim Halpert as Golden Face on The Office. That's how gold that is. I don't know if the glitteriness of this is picking up on camera, but it's definitely a glitter finish. Like very, very fine micro glitter, but glitter all the same. To be honest, it's very, very beautiful. It's very pretty. Not sure if I would have chosen to put this on for a dinner out with my family had I known how intense that was going to be. But I'm already the extra one in the family, so I guess we're just gonna go with it. I don't own anything that has a finish like this, which is cool. It's good to have something that is like different in your collection for sure. And it's strange because as it kind of dissipates over your cheek, the goldenness of it becomes more translucent, and it is like blending with my skin tone a lot better, but it's definitely not like a natural highlight. Like it looks like, whoa, that girl's got a crazy gold highlight on. Like it looks good, but it doesn't look like, it ain't subtle. Let's put it that way. I think that I'm going to skip putting this like on the tip of my nose and stuff because I feel like that's like a bit much. Like even for me, like that's a bit much. There's something very 70s disco about this look, for sure. I'm just gonna pick up a smaller brush and pop that on my inner corners as well. I think that'll kind of tie everything together a little bit more. And also, I just wanna see what it looks like packed on the inner corners. That brush isn't small enough, stand by. I'm gonna use a Morphe E18 pencil brush instead. It is stunning as an inner corner highlight. I almost feel like this would be like most amazing as an eyeshadow, like over the whole lid or something. Oh, that's gonna be pretty. Not today, because I already put down a bunch of eyeshadow. Maybe next time. I just wanted to zoom you guys in a little bit for a second so you can get a better look at how it looks on the inner corner as well as on the side of my cheek. Like, holy shiitake mushrooms. That's a lot of gold. I don't hate it. I'm not mad at it at all. I think it looks really pretty. I just don't know if I would have chosen to wear it for like a daytime look had I known. I mean, I'm going to dinner, but it's like an early dinner, so it's like, oh, this is a little fucking crazy. But it is pretty. That shit pretty. Okay, I look a little different. That's because it's the next morning. I really cannot catch a break trying to film this video because I went to edit it this morning and I realized that the outro clip where I told you my first impressions on it never recorded. So here we are, it's the next morning. So my first initial thoughts on the foundation are that it is definitely medium to high-ish coverage, but it's not gonna cover everything that you have on your face if you have blemishes or acne, whatever. It does sit really beautifully on the skin though. It says a matte finish. I would describe it as like a matte to satin finish. Not completely matte. If you were somebody who likes a completely matte foundation, you're probably not gonna love it, you know? But personally for me, matte with like a slight hint of a sheen still is actually preferable. So I really like the finish of the foundation. As far as the highlight is concerned, I think it's gorgeous. The KILLAWATT Trophy Wife highlight is the one that I wore. It was like kind of a little bit over the top, I'm not gonna lie, especially if you have fair skin. Like it really looks striking, but if you don't like something that's like striking and like way out there, you might not get a lot of use out of it. That being said, I still think it's worth having in your collection because it does make a really gorgeous inner corner highlight. I can see it being more subtle and wearable on a day-to-day basis if you do have like a deeper skin tone. Even a tan skin tone, it definitely would be more wearable. On me, again, like I said, I felt like Golden Face a little bit, if you guys are familiar with who Golden Face is, but I liked it. I enjoyed wearing it. I thought it looked really nice. I just think that maybe it's not something that I'm gonna get a ton of use out of because I don't know of that many occasions where I'm gonna want a gold glittery face. So I think that it's really pretty, but I don't think that it's necessarily very practical. The foundation, on the other hand, I did wind up getting the package with the other items late last night. I don't know why. It showed up at my house, like literally showed up on my doorstep like after 8 p.m. The weirdest fucking thing, but whatever, I got it and that's what counts. I did a check-in last night after wearing it for a few hours. I'm also wearing it again today and I'm going to check in with it throughout the day, let you guys know how it wears, and that video will be up on Saturday of this week. As far as the packaging though, the packaging for the foundation is bomb as fuck. It's so sleek and it feels heavy and luxurious and like really just generally I think they did a great job on the packaging, and it's a pump, which I love. I don't like when I have a foundation in pretty much anything except a pump, so that the packaging is perfect in my opinion. It's nice and heavy and sturdy and sleek and pretty and chic and all those lovely things, so I'm very happy with that. So on first impression, I think everything is super high quality. I think the foundation applies beautifully. It looks amazing on the skin. I did find that the colors ran a little bit lighter than I expected, so maybe going there in person is not a terrible idea because they do seem to be in stock. At least like part of the shade range seems to be in stock in most places. So if you can go to Sephora or I think I saw a sign for it outside of JCPenney, so I don't know if they're selling it there too, but if you can go to a store and see it in person, I think that would be probably ideal for getting your foundation match, just because the range is pretty wide. There are a variety of undertones. I'm really happy with the undertone of like the neutral ones. I think that's excellent. I really prefer when I don't have to like adjust for my foundation leaning in one direction or the other, so it is very nice to have a true neutral undertone. I also think that the foundation applies much better with a sponge than it does with a brush. I highly recommend using it with a damp beauty sponge rather than like a foundation brush or something. So if you're not somebody who likes to apply things with a sponge, keep that in mind. The brush did not make it perform well, like at all. Not their brush, because I didn't try their brush, my brush, but a brush in general doesn't seem to be ideal. I'll check back in with you guys in another video in a few days to discuss how the foundation wore over like a longer period of time. I'm going to wear it out like in different scenarios and with different primers to, you know, really test it and see what I think. And in that video, I'll also do a first impression of the gloss and also of one of the stick highlighters. So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching as always. If you have not given this video a thumbs up yet, please do, because that lets me know if you like these style of videos, and it also helps other people to see my stuff, which is always helpful to me. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because that is the best way for us to keep in touch here on YouTube. And also, don't forget to follow me on social media, because I post on Instagram every single day, and Twitter is the best way to chat about makeup if you like to chat, or anything. It doesn't have to be about makeup. Whatever you want to chat about, that's the best way to get in touch with me. So I will link that here on the screen and also in the description below, as well as a link to all the products I talked about in this video. Those will be in the description below as well. That's all for today. I will be back in a few days with an update on how this foundation wears, and I will see you in the next one.